So there's an ongoing story right now that's happening with PlayStation Network. And I saw this pop up last night. And when I did, I said, you know what? Maybe that's something that after an hour at the most, everything will be fine and the services will be back up and running. It'll be a kind of this blip on the radar, right? Well, fast forward now 15 hours, almost 16 hours. And yeah, it's still down, and it's a very strange situation because we really haven't heard much from Sony, which is now giving people flashbacks to 2011. And hey, if you remember that time, you know that's the point that Sony does not want to remember, and we're going to go over all of that here today. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. So let's take a quick look. This is the PlayStation status, so network status. Basically, it's a site that tells you how things are on their end. So, you know, if it's you, maybe with your ISP or your router or home network setup that's causing issues instead. In this case, though, everything is red. So some services are experiencing issues. You have your account management, sign and create account, edit account details, and that's across everything that can connect to it, clearly, with the Vita and the PS3 also being mentioned there. And it even says the start when they detected it. So yeah, yesterday, 7 p.m., which, that's not, yeah, that's not good. That's actually a little longer than I thought it was. Okay. Gaming and social, so game streaming, which, let me know about this in the comments, because I don't know if this is me necessarily, just me, but I tried using my PlayStation Portal, and it's not working. And I see game streaming here, which I tried the game streaming side. I also tried the remote play side. Neither one works. So game streaming, okay, that makes sense why the Portal wouldn't be able to stream games from there. But the remote play thing was weird. And I realized, oh wait, there is like this slight authentication, I believe, that happens when you try to remote play to your PS5 with Sony servers. And if that's the case here and PlayStation Network is down, that kind of makes my PlayStation Portal completely useless then. It's weird to think because you look at it as a remote play device that doesn't necessarily need the internet if you have your PS5, but technically it does at least need a little bit of data from the PlayStation Network, and it's hung up. So let me know if your PS Portal is going through the same thing, or if you haven't tried it, test it now with the network service status, and let me know if maybe it's just something on my end with it. But that one that caught me off guard a little bit. PlayStation Video also being down, the store, which one thing with that is people are still able to buy games, so purchases here, but I've definitely seen people mention that they were able to buy games, but they weren't necessarily able to download right away or authenticate their game. And that is the most troubling thing, because we talk about the digital future right now and how that continues to take over physical media. Well, right now, it's one of those situations where you don't really think about it until it's a problem. You know, and then there's many things like that in our lives where you take something for granted and you're like, oh, it stopped working. Now it's a major issue. So in this case, yeah, technically your digital games on your PS5 won't work if you don't have your PS5 set up as your primary device. So back here, right now, I have the PS5 Pro. I set that up as my primary PS5, so I can still play the digital games on there. It works fine. But if you don't have it set up that way and it's kind of set up as like a secondary console, it has to authenticate through PlayStation server, has to call to it to make sure you can play it. So if it can't, then your digital media just won't launch. And I saw MVG posted an image of that where he's trying to launch Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And then he mentioned to me that he didn't have it set as like his main PS5. So yeah, technically he can't play the game that he bought right now because PlayStation Network is down, even though it is a fully single player game. So that's all digital future. It's exciting stuff here. Exciting stuff. Although I guess technically if you bought a disc drive today, because you're like, you know what? I'll just get the disc drive, whatever, so I can play. Because remember, this happened Friday night, so last night, right? Think about the people getting off work, coming home after an entire week of working and stuff. I'm going to play some PlayStation tonight, and it's just down. I'm going to go get the disc drive attached to it. Oh, wait, it has to authenticate by calling to the server to pair it to your PS5, which it technically can't do right now. Yeah, it's, hey, all digital future. Let's go. Of course, though, because of what's happening here, and because it's a prolonged time period of this being down, people are thinking about 2011. which was when the PlayStation Network got hacked and was down for almost a month. So, like, Fortnite leaks, this tweet exploded. I mean, it almost 18,000 likes on that thing. Saying if you're a PlayStation user, I recommend you guys change your password because it's just still looking sketchy that there has been no overall transparency in the situation on why PlayStation Network is down. This gives flashbacks to when they got hacked in 2011. Yeah, if this ends up being a security issue, I think it'll be a bad look for Sony for not immediately relaying that information to customers. Could be a major problem there. Again, as time ticks on here, every hour that passes, there's people bringing that up, a bit of concern there. Again, here, another article written up about 2011, which is a time period that Sony does not want to go back to. Basically, the service was down for almost a month, and when it came back, so the picture of just PlayStation Network just being down for almost a month to where you can't play any of the big games like your Fortnites or your Call of Duty Warzone or Apex Legends. I know, but those are like the big games at the top, right, that people will spend the vast majority of time on PSN playing. But then also picture you not being able to authenticate games, which means you wouldn't be able to play it at all. So, yeah, it's fun. When what has PlayStation said? Well, they have a few statements that is once again bringing up concern. Here's Ask PlayStation. This was last night, again, about 10 or 11 minutes, 12 minutes after that service was detected as being having issues, saying currently there may be cases where you cannot use PlayStation Network. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused to our customers. We are currently investigating and working on restoring the service, so we kindly ask for your patience for a little while longer. Then we have Ask PlayStation. They made a statement about an hour and a half after that. We are aware some users might be currently experiencing issues with PSN. And then they just link you to status.playstation.com, 14.1 million views, and it is a bloodbath in those comments. That's all they've said. So when you're just kind of left hanging like that now into I mean, almost Saturday afternoon now, yeah, you start to have questions around this. And I don't really blame anyone because this doesn't look good currently for PlayStation Network being down at a high traffic time the weekend. And as I'm playing, because again, I can play the games on my PS5 Pro, there are things that aren't working still. So one thing in particular, trophy data. When for example, I loaded up Shadow of the Colossus, and I was like, I'm going to take down one of these last two Colossus just to see if the trophy will pop and if it'll sync, because at the bottom where your game should be, I don't have any trophies there. It doesn't show your progress or anything with your account. So I decided, okay, I'll go through. I beat one of the Colossus. I did the downward stab. I was like, I'll get that trophy too. So they both popped at the same time. And then that was it. There was no syncing, nothing. So I hopefully it is able to sync up when the services come back online. But also, my save data cloud, that doesn't sync either. That's not accessible. So the $80 a year service bare minimum where you play online, that's spotty if barely working. Your cloud saves don't sync. The games don't authenticate. And you start to realize, wow, if PlayStation Network was just, I don't say gone, but down for weeks on end, a vast majority of the PlayStation stuff just wouldn't work. And it makes you realize that that all digital future, it's going to be something else because then we're even more reliant on just the network side of things. And here's hoping it's not some crazy hack that's happened. And then it's just, I don't know, something in the back end with server side started having issues, or they had to go to maintenance and it just kind of shut it down for a bit to get things figured out. Because it ends up being a serious issue with a hack that knocks it out for weeks. Be a lot of very unhappy people, and it will once again be something that people look back on more than a decade from now. I mean, think about 2011 came up immediately. And that was 14 years ago almost now. People don't forget. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. Let me know what you're experiencing with your PlayStation currently, whether it's the PS3, the Vita, the PS4, the PS5. I mean, those are all listed there. Let me know what you're able to play, what you're not able to play, and let me know if your PlayStation Portal is currently working. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.